In this video, we're going to be looking at the tennis trading strategy of laying the server. This is one of the main low risk, high reward ways to trade tennis, and we're going to break it down for you also with real life demonstrations. Go grab a nice cold beer and let's get into it. So the key to trading tennis on Betfair is that the big tennis market moves are going to be caused by breaks of serve. In every tennis game, there is a player who is serving and there is a player who is receiving. If the receiving player can win that game, it can cause the big market moves that we're looking for. So let's just have a quick look at this chart. For example, we got this player, Ostapenko, started this match around evens, dipped down to 1.2. Pretty much that was because she was probably receiving and won the game, okay? And that caused her price to move down from 2 down to 1.2. It then drifted out to 1.6, more than likely because probably at this point Ostapenko was serving and her opponent won a game, or at least put pressure on her serve. I mean, she went all the way back up to the price of 2, so you'd assume she probably at least lost maybe one game, maybe even 2 games in there, okay, on her serve. So that's the idea with tennis trading. And then if we just look further on, we can see that her price dipped down to close to 1.2 again. So she probably won a game when she was receiving. So anyway, that's the nature of tennis trading, and that's how we trade it. If you're laying the server in these situations, you're going to catch some very, very nice price swings. And here's the thing. If you back the server, you can never catch those price moves, can you? You can never catch those price moves. When you back a server, you're limited in the amount of movement that you can get, okay? Your best case scenario if you back a server is that they just win their service game and you win a few ticks from the movement in the meantime. But obviously, if you lay a server, you can make much bigger profits, potentially, okay? It will put you in a prime position to catch the odd swings like you saw on the chart just a moment ago. And also keep in mind, especially if you're new to tennis trading, you might not be aware of this, but laying the server, if even just 1 or 2 points against the server can create big price moves. That's why I said on that chart, it's not totally clear whether she did lose a service game or maybe she just dropped a few points. Okay, that's all it could have been. And that could have been enough to move the price and for you to catch a profitable trade. So a lot of people think if you lay in the server, you're betting or gambling that they're going to lose that service game. That's not the case at all. We're pretty much just saying, hey, they're going to have a bit of a tough service game and they might drop a few points. It's going to move the market in our direction, and that's the position we're taking. Okay, we could profit and they could still win their service game at the same time. Okay, but anyway, I've got some real life demonstrations coming up, so you'll get a more of an idea of that very, very soon. But do keep that in mind. And here's the important thing, because I know some people are going to be thinking this. You cannot just enter the tennis market and then just lay the server in every service game. And believe me, I've had many, many emails asking me this, because people conclude that, well, if that's how you catch the big price moves, if you just lay every server and then if they win their service game, you exit the market and then you just lay the other player, eventually you're going to catch a break of serve, aren't you, and profit. Only problem is that in the meantime, there's going to be an odds movement against you if that player wins their service game, which they will do the majority of the time. And every service game won by the server will cause you to then lock in a red screen. You switch to the other player. And if you get loads of those in a row, it's going to add up to a pretty big red screen. So look, keep in mind, laying the server, it is low risk, high reward. It's a low risk, high reward trade because the market won't move that much against you if the server wins their service game, because that is what everyone is expecting to happen. However, those tiny losses will start to add up to a big loss if you keep repeating it over and over again. So the advice is that you've got to look for opportune times to lay the server, opportune times in the match to lay the server. So this could be times when you think that they are under pressure and they're going to have a bit of a wobbly service game. Possibly you've watched them serve and they haven't served well on their previous service game. Very often, the next service game, they're not going to serve well again. So you can look out for things like that, and just, as said, look for the opportune times. If you keep doing it on every game, you're gonna slowly lose money. But if you pick your opportune moments, then you can obviously make some pretty big profits out of this, and that is pretty much the key to tennis trading, if you can catch these. And at the same time, with your entry point, you do have to consider your exit point when you lay the server. Now, as said, you can get some pretty big moves, even off sometimes 1 point against the server can move it pretty nicely. But 2 points against the server can already be a very, very nice trade. So if that server's serving and it goes to love 30 or 15-40, just that on its own can be a very, very nice trade. And it's very important you kind of decide before you enter the market on what you're looking for. Okay, there could be some players where you think, oh, they're going to have a bit of a wobbly service game, let me lay the server, but I'm only going to stay in for 2 points against them, then I'll get out. But there might be some players where you're just like, well, this player is looking hopeless at the moment, I'm going to lay the server, I'm going to look for a breakpoint conversion against them and catch probably the biggest swing possible. Okay, but again, you've got to consider that before you enter the market. But anyway, in case you're new to this, I've got some real life trading demonstrations of lay the server strategy on the Betfair exchange, and we're going to get into that right now. But before we do, I would really, really love it if you could click the like button to support the channel. These videos are free for you to watch. All we ask for in return, just click the like button. If you really, really like this subject, you want to see more videos on this subject and more videos from this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That is very, very important. The subscribe button apparently just doesn't work for most people these days. The notification bell works a little bit better. So if you want to see more of our videos in the future, click the notification bell for sure. Anyway, let's dive into it. Got some real life trading demonstrations now of lay the server strategy. So we got Fognini against Andy Murray here, and Fognini just about to serve, and we want to lay the server. Okay, so let's try and get our stakes in the market. They're just sitting down, so we've got a bit of time. Okay, that buys us a little bit of time to get involved. But anyway, we're going to put this lay in. So we're laying Fognini there at 1.8, as you can see. And yeah, we're looking for him to struggle on his serve for us to be able to make a profit. Let's see what happens. So Fognini's underway with his serve, on his first serve. And we're looking to try and see if Andy Murray can do us a favour and get some points. So he's got the first point. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens on the next serve. And you can already see that's already moved it 16 ticks in our favour. Okay, just laying Fognini there at 1.8 can already get out for 16 tick profit at that point. But let's see what happens. Let's see how this one develops. Okay, so it looks like Andy Murray's going to get the next point. You can see that big jump up. Okay, big jump up in the price. And so you just need even 2 points against the server can swing it very, very nicely. Okay. So you can see there how quick that trade was as well. We entered the trade at the beginning of the service game. It's gone love 30 to Andy Murray, and then we're out with a profit. Okay, it was £100. We make a 16% return, and you can just look out for these opportunities. As you're following the match, if you sense that a player's going to be not serving great, maybe he didn't serve great in his last game, maybe he's feeling the pressure, then these can be some great opportunities to get in. So there you can see, not the biggest trade, but a very quick and easy one. Okay, so and as you can see, it's gone back to 30-30. Okay, so remember, we were laying the server, and this is just something to keep in mind for a lot of people who are new to tennis trading, and maybe those who come from a betting background. When we're laying this server Fognini, we're not saying he's gonna not win the service game. We're just saying he's going to struggle a little bit, and that's going to give us the price move that we want, and then we can lock in a profit. Now, Fognini from here probably will go on and win the service game, but it doesn't matter because we've achieved what we were looking for. And as it stands, actually, it's just gone 40-30 up, which is interesting. Remember, we laid him at 1.8. Look at his price now, 1.78. Okay, so you can also see how low risk it is. If we wanted to get out now and we didn't achieve that profit, it's a 2-tick loss, okay, whereas we gained a decent amount more right there. So yeah, just a quick example there of laying the server, just 2 points against the server. Very nice price move in our favor, laying at 1.8, and we got out at 2.18. So just one game in on this one, and Kostyuk has taken an early lead with a breaker serve, and we haven't seen her serve yet. Okay, however, usually with the price shortening so much within literally the first game of the whole match, it's a pretty low risk opportunity. Okay, because remember we haven't seen her serve, but the markets haven't seen her serve. So anyway, we're going to get involved. 1.36. We're going to go against her serve. Remember, she can't lose the match during this first set, so the price isn't going to move that much against us in the meantime. And we're going to try and see if Lou can put some pressure on. So it's just gone 15.40. Okay, the Betfair scoreboard is always slow and behind, but it's just gone 15.40. So that means that Lou has 2 breakpoint opportunities, and now this could be an opportunity to just get out when you are laying the server and just take the profit at that particular point. I know some people do like to try and see if that breakpoint is converted, and we have examples of that in this very video. But sometimes in tennis the momentum can kind of shift as soon as the underdog or the receiving player gets a break point, because suddenly now the server knows they have to step it up, otherwise they're going to lose that service game. A little bit more pressure on the receiver to convert that break point, because they know that now they've got that opportunity. Before the pressure was off them, now there's a little bit of pressure on them, and it can go back to 40-40 pretty much like what has just happened right here. Okay, so this can be a pretty good exit point when you're laying the server, to lay the server. If there's a breakpoint opportunity, then you get out and take the profit at that particular point. Remember, we're just showing you all sorts of different demonstrations and scenarios. It's obviously only down to you to decide what you like the look of the most. But this is a prime example of exactly what I'm talking about, when players can get breakpoint opportunities, but then the server steps it up, overcomes the pressure, brings it back to deuce. Okay, still might be a serve in this game, but it doesn't matter. We've already locked in a little bit of profit. Nice little scalp there. So yeah, just a good example. Lay the server, exiting on the breakpoint opportunity, not the breakpoint conversion. Okay, and well, from the looks of this, it looks like maybe Kostyuk, yeah, has won the service game. So yeah, you know, that just shows you even more how good tennis trading can be. We went against the server, we profited, the server won the service game. Okay, so we can benefit from the short-term volatility. So anyway, as said, quick example, lay the server, exiting on that breakpoint opportunity. That can be enough to move the markets in our favor. So I hope you're enjoying it, and we still got more to come. But while you're there, if you haven't seen this already, we're giving this away at the moment. This is the Ultimate Tennis Trading Course Prospectus, and this will point you in the right direction. If you are someone who is interested in learning how to trade these tennis markets and pretty much how to become a master of these tennis markets, then this book will explain exactly how to begin the process of doing that. Okay, click the link in the description of this video to get a copy of this sent to you, and you're going to learn more about how you can learn how to trade tennis, and you don't need zero knowledge of the sport. Okay, so you need pretty much just your understanding of the markets and understanding of the numbers, etc., etc. And you definitely don't need to know much about the players. Most tennis traders, I'm telling you, don't know much about the players. Probably just know the players by name, but you don't have to follow them or study them or anything like that. It's just following the numbers on the screen, and you've kind of seen some examples just now with the later server, and it's just looking out for those opportune moments to get in. And you don't even need to watch the match. You can do this following just the live scores. So if you're not a fan of the sport, or you don't have any of the channels which show the sport, which is happening to a lot of people these days, well, doesn't really matter. Okay, you can definitely just use flash scores is the main thing to use. It's very, very fast, and you could just use that to keep up with the scores. Okay, but anyway, yeah, if you are interested in any of this, grab the course prospectus, click the link in the description, put in your very best email address. We will email it directly to you. If you put in a fake email address, you're just wasting your time. You have to put in your email address, and we're going to email it to you. Okay, all right, let's get into another example of laying the server. So we're about to get involved in this match. We're going to lay the server here. Okay, Trevisan. Let's try and get this in. Always tricky. I mean, look, you've got to really, really move fast when you're getting the money in the market in tennis. You can't really be waiting around to press record on a video. Anyway, let's see if this gets taken. We're going to lay Trevisan here, 1.79. It's carnage in the markets. This isn't, yeah, it's a bit of a volatile market. But anyway, just from what I've observed so far with this, neither player is serving well. And that's the first breaker serve. So anyway, we're laying the server. We're going to try and see if Muchova can get some points and swing the price back in our direction. Let's see what happens next. So just to update you, this is now 30-30 in this service game. So for the nicest swing, you usually want a 2-point gap. So something like love 30 or 15-40. So when it gets to 30, well, now 30-40. So let's see what this price move does for us. So really, when it gets to this point, probably better off served just to try and see if you can get the full breakpoint conversion. Okay, so Muchova has a breakpoint, and really we want to try and see that breakpoint conversion to try and get the swing that we want. That is technically the 2 points ahead that we're looking for. Otherwise it's going to go to juice, and then we could be all day with juice. But anyway, let's see what happens. I don't have any of the pictures, so I'm going by the scoreboard and the market, just like you. So I can't see anything of what's going on. And of course, with tennis, you don't really need to see it. You just need to follow the numbers. So let's see what happens here. We're trying to work out if Muchova's price shortens, that means she's got the break. Otherwise, it'll probably be back around evens. It's carnage in the markets. Okay, so it looks like her price has shortened. And yep, we're going to be able to lock in that profit. Okay, let's just press that and get that in. So yeah, nicely done. So what you saw there with lay the server. Now, for the nicest move, as said, 2 points gives you the nicest move. You probably don't want to do lay the server, just get out after 1 point against the server. You probably want at least 2 points. Obviously, the more points against the server, the better, but at least 2. Now, the way this played out, we couldn't get 2 because it went to 30-30. Then Muchova had the break point. So in this case, it was worth trying to, in a way, race the winning trade and just try and see if Muchova can get the full break back, and then you're going to get the maximum profit that you can get out of the trade. Okay, and also just to point out, in case anyone's new, just stumbled upon this video, the risk we had in the market, the 150 odd pounds, that's just temporary risk in the market. That money is never fully at risk. We would always exit for a smaller loss of probably around the same amount we could win if it goes wrong. Okay, so anyway, yeah, just keep that in mind. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So another example of lay the server, but in this instance we had to let it run further past that break point. And so let's quickly review what we've learned with this one. So when you're doing the lay the server strategy, you need to look for low risk opportunities to lay the server. As we said right at the start of the video, you can't just lay the server in every match. You can't just do this blindly, like, hey, look, there's a player serving, let me just lay him, cross my fingers and hope for the best. You've got to learn how to look for those low risk opportunities to lay the server. And then as touched upon, decide on your exit point in advance. I mean, that last trade you saw there, we kind of had to freestyle a little bit because I realized, well, it's probably better to look for the full break rather than exit on the break point. However, a lot of the time you might just want to get in and say, look, I'm only going in for 2 points, or if I'm going to get out, whether it's 30-30, or I will get out if it goes to juice or something like that. And at the same time, as always with tennis trading, always limit your downside risk at the same time. But anyway, if you like the look of everything you've seen with regards to tennis trading, remember, grab this free ebook. We're giving it away at the moment, Ultimate Tennis Trading, the prospectus, and you will get a much better idea of how you can learn how to trade tennis. Zero prior knowledge of the sport. Most of us didn't know much about the sport when we started to trade it. As said, it's all about the numbers. Most of us barely know any of the players apart from the celebrities, and these days most of us don't even really watch the match. Okay, the live scores apps and Flash Scores website and SofaScore, they're all really fast. Okay, they're actually faster than what you would see on the TV, so you're better off just following that. So you don't even have to watch the match. Just sit down with the live scores app, the market, and just trade like that. And anyway, click the link in the description to get your copy of this, put in your very best email address. We will email it right to you. If you do that right now, you should get it in the next 5 or 10 minutes so you can start having a look through this, okay? And while you're there, there should be another very, very good video on the screen for you to check out right now. I strongly advise watching that video, okay? Go grab another nice cold beer, and I will see you in the next video.